Okay, here we go. Front page story here. First NYS-style drill for students. Mandatory 3-month community service after senior school, as well as 9 months upon completing university and college, will be required for graduates before securing employment if education reforms by a presidential task force are implemented. That had been highlighted a little bit earlier, but we have the details now. See page 7, we are told. Also sharing the front page here of the Daily Nation, Ruto Raila rule out power sharing ahead of crucial talks. An image of President William Ruto there and opposition Raila Odinga here. And both are quoted as saying that President Ruto sustains that the onslaught of the opposition, declaring his government will speedily conclude negotiations with rivals so long as power sharing is not on the table. And opposition leader Raila Odinga has stated that he is not interested in a deal to join a government he has branded, quote, illegitimate and unpopular, but insisted the ruling coalition should not dictate the issues for discussion. Okay, so the talks begin tomorrow at the Bomas of Kenya, according to one Kimani Ichung'wah, the majority leader in the National Assembly and the head of the Kenya Kwanza delegation to that 10-member committee. All right, at the very top here, dam scandal. Senator's firm was paid 2 billion shillings for this thicket. In 2009, Midrock Water Drilling Company, owned by Mohammed Shute, now Marsabit senator, started construction of Badassa Dam. On completion, it would have stored 5 million cubic meters of water, sufficient to quench the thirst of long-suffering residents of Marsabit town. But today, there is no such water fountain, only a deep money pit in a shrub. And on the side here, I see the law change to end messy divorces. A bill before the National Assembly proposes to amend the law to allow an estranged couple to separate by mutual consent. And as far as transport is concerned, radical plan for states to control matatu fares. An MP wants the Transport Cabinet Secretary empowered to set statutory fees charged by public service vehicles in various routes nationwide. And we'll get into the Healthy Nation as well. I believe page 14, because we're looking at health matters. And let me flip over there. Healthy Nation. Okay, I will trace it right before we begin the conversation. But before then, let's take a look at the front page of the Taifa Leo. And here it is. Ruto apokonya Gachagua kazi. Political intrigues there. And it continues to explain, Rais William Ruto sasa anaonekana kuchukua jukumu la kulainisha sekta ya kahawa kutoka kwa naibu rais Rigathi Gachagua baada ya kutangaza Jumapili kwamba yeye binafsi ndiye atakabiliana na watu wenye ushawishi wanaodhibiti sekta hiyo. Rais atangaza atalainisha sekta ya kahawa licha ya kumpa naibu wake jukumu la kunyoosha kilimo. So there we go, front page story on the Taifa Leo. Let's take a look at the Business Daily now, and here we go. Shilling hits 150 against the US dollar. Whoa, the Kenyan shilling has, in one of the costliest free falls in history, lost its value trading against the US dollar by nearly half in under 50 months, making consumers pay dearly for imported goods. Several commercial banks already selling the US dollar above the 150 shilling mark in Nairobi, piling pressure on the Kenyan shilling, while setting up consumers for a new wave of currency-driven price increases across imported products, including fertilizer, electronics, and cars. A spot check by Business Daily on Monday afternoon showed that the exchange rate to the dollar at I&M and CDN Bank had breached the 150 shilling mark as the country continued to grapple with a shortage. Okay, so more on this by Dominic Omondi. EPRA boss faces day in court over fuel taxes row. This one by Sam Kiplagat. The EPRA Director General, Daniel Kipto, pictured here, has been summoned to explain why he disregarded a court order suspending the implementation of the Finance Act 2023 and adjusted fuel prices. And the 3 High Court judges hearing petitions challenging the provisions of the Act on Monday directed Mr. Kipto to appear before them on September 13th, as sought by Busia Senator Okia Omtata. On the ticker this morning, Transport CS to control bus fares in proposed law. The Transport Cabinet Secretary will have powers to put caps on bus fares for PSVs and that is public service vehicles, in proposed changes to the law, in a move that will set the state on a collision course with private investors. Puzzle of how 1,984 cartons of wine were consumed and empty bottles returned while inside the port of Mombasa. That's an act of magic. A 40-feet container imported with alcoholic beverages and stored in a custom-bonded warehouse at the Mombasa port has been discovered with empty bottles during verification by the Kenya Revenue Authority. Details as to how this could have happened on page 5 of the Business Daily. Pension funds returns rise to 6.4%. And I will leave the Business Daily there. Let's take a look at the Standard and the Star. The Standard, here we go. And this is the front page. Ruto maintains tough conditions ahead of talks. And this is that report you heard there by Margaret Kimathi. President yesterday said he is ready for dialogue with the opposition, but he won't be blackmailed using violence. That power sharing is off the table. I imagine they mean the table, as his henchmen also ruled out talks on cost of living. I heard our brothers in the opposition agree with us that they, just like us, are opposed to handshake. Now that they have declared so, they should go ahead and agree on ending violence, and through that, we shall agree on everything else. So that is front page of the Standard. Hopes and fears of school leavers who shunned KU CCPS slots, and close to 600,000 students who sat for KCSE last year did not opt for placement universities or colleges. For some, the cost was prohibitive, but for others, it was out of ignorance. Western issue leaders in eye of storm over botched varsity fund. So let me see at the very top here what they have for us. Forgot to shame, elders abandoned, abused in home, was a BBC special report. Okay, so let's take a look at the Star now. And as it loads, let's see what the People Daily has in store. Court acts tough on high fuel tax. And regulators summoned, we saw that already. EPRA boss Kipto risks jail for contempt over levy. Judges declined to stop sections of controversial Finance Act. Cases to be heard on September 13th and 14th. We reject the applications to cross-examine the speakers of the National Assembly and Senate. Those applications are dismissed. We will give full reasons in our judgment. And quoted here is Judge David Majanja. Sharing the front page, we will finish all stalled projects. Ruto tells Mountain. President William Ruto pictured here addressing a gathering in one of his stops on his 5-day tour of central Kenya. And let me see, anything else to catch the eye? Varsity students face high fees. Public universities have raised charges for learners seeking to enroll in September, but will the government loan them the difference? Okay, I think we'll be forced to look at our hard copy of the Star. Ruto moves to tighten grip on Mount Kenya tough. DP Gachagua has declared president the official leader of the Mount Kenya region. That he did on Sunday. And an image of the bomb blast memorial, the August 7th memorial further down there during the 25th anniversary. So that is what is on the front page of the Star. I see they've also highlighted the proposed law on ending messy divorces. Want to divorce? Shorter, simpler route on the way. So I will leave the dailies there and reintroduce my panelists and remind you of what we are discussing this morning. And we get into that